future course, but this is specifically
A bug.
got bugs flying around.
Sorry.
Yeah, poop.
Good job pooping on the pony.
Wow, you're amazing.
I like how you did that all by yourself.
Show my poopy.
You want to show me your poopy? All right, so if you're ready, let's get started. All right, hello, welcome to our online course, Lifelong Learning, a course in unschooling. We are the Vais. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Keisha.
And hello from Bali, Indonesia. That will help explain
The sound.
the sounds and what you're seeing around us. We are a world schooling family of 8, traveling the world and learning as we go.
But as world schoolers, we're also unschoolers. And those two do not necessarily go hand in hand. So that's why we go ahead and say that world schooling can be all sorts of things. You just travel the world and include your education within that. But there's many different facets to world schooling. And unschooling is its own thing as well. We just happen to blend the two together. And so we travel the world together as a family of 9. And with number 7 on the way, which is why we're here in Bali. And as we go, we want to cultivate a passion for lifelong learning in our children. And we do that through unschooling.
So what is unschooling? Well, a quick Google search will show a plethora of information, and there's not really a definitive answer to that question because unschooling looks different for everybody. But along with that Google search, you're going to find a lot of objections and a lot of misinformation about what unschooling is, and so we hope to correct some of those myths and misconceptions of unschooling. But for the sake of this course, we're going to assume if you're taking this course that you're already on some unschooling journey, you're at least seriously considering it or already have started. And so we want to just, for the sake of this course, offer this definition, that unschooling simply is learning without schooling, and specifically with a focus on child-directed learning. That is a key principle behind unschooling. So it looks different for different people. It's going to be, whether you're a single parent who's working a regular job or you're a family that, travels the world or everything in between. Unschooling is going to look different for different families, but the focus is on child-directed learning.
All right, so there's many names that go along with unschooling, like organic learning, natural learning, lifelong learning, self-directed learning, basically child-based learning through passion.
So as parents, a major question a lot of us have is how are we going to ensure that our kids get a good education, right? But as unschoolers, we're changing that question. And really we're asking, how can we ensure that our children become lifelong learners? Because learning is the goal. In fact, education is not really the goal of unschooling. That our goal of unschooling is to cultivate and care for our kids' innate ability to be lifelong learners. Becoming a learner is the goal.
So the late Alvin Toffler said it well. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. We love this quote because it really does encompass exactly what we're trying to instill in our families' hearts.
Yeah. In the same way a gardener cannot force vegetables to grow in his garden, we cannot coerce our kids into learning, into being educated. First of all, they do it naturally on their own anyway, but we can cultivate an environment that's conducive for them to become learners, to bear fruit, right, over time. And so if we're asking the question, what will you gain by taking this course? That's the question. How can you ensure that your children become lifelong learners? And so we hope just through our own story as second-generation unschoolers, we'll offer ourselves as a case study through our own story, and then through experiences and mistakes made through a decade of unschooling our own kids. And so, through those lessons learned and mistakes we've made and things that we've learned along the way, we hope to pass that on to you, and that you're able to walk away with a better understanding of what unschooling is, and some really good tips, starting points for moving forward in your own unschooling journey.
And the key to all of this is that we're learning and growing as we go along with our children. But in that, we're not experts because we're constantly being shaped and molded into who we are every single day. So whatever we have, everyone can experience. This is not special to us.
We also want to challenge you throughout this course to take notes, to journal, but to also challenge what you're hearing from us, to put it to the test, because we're all about self-discovery here, right? And so we want you to be able to discover for yourself what your unschooling journey needs to look like. And so challenge what you're hearing, do more research in between sessions, take good notes, and begin to piece together what your journey needs to look like.
Yeah, really utilize this time as a case study, not as us telling you this is how things happen and this is the formula, but rather this is a case study of our experience, and then add it in with all of your other research that you're inevitably going to explore.
Yeah. So this course will be divided into 4 main sessions. The first session, we're going to cover just some unschooling basics, what it can be for you, talk about the paradigm shift that it takes to be an unschooler. And then we'll also cover a lot of the misconceptions, misinformation, and the myths behind unschooling. And then in session 2, we'll offer ourselves as a case study. You'll get to hear our upbringing unschooled kids, and our journey all the way through higher education. So you get to kind of hear our story and build a case study off of that. And then in session 3, we're going to cover our 10 foundational principles of unschooling, which will really help us kind of walk through some of the things that we're doing with our own children as unschoolers, and things that we're learning along the way. And then in the final session 4, you will get to hear from the kids, and then we will also cover just some basic tips for getting started, and then a bunch of resources that we want to give you. All right, so if you're ready, let's get started.